if you're looking for all the answers, I don't have them. But what I do have is a particular set of skills I've developed over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people who mislead or misinform those of us in the sports card industry. So if you don't do that, I'll let it go. I won't pursue you. But if you do, I will find you and I will expose you. I should have like been an actor. I mean, that was really good, right? Anyway, welcome to another episode of the Sports Card Investigator Show. I'm your host, and first and foremost, I would like to thank all of you because on our last couple shows, we had a giveaway for a Carson Edwards Silver. And as of this moment, I think if you check on Instagram, you will see who the winner is. And that was to thank you guys for our 100 subscription. And as I look this morning of the taping, we are already past 200 subscribers. And I am so excited and so thankful to you guys because I can't believe the quick growth and the success of the show so far. So maybe we have this momentum, we'll keep it going. So today I want to talk about something that actually came up in the last couple episodes. The episode I did on my strategy for grading raw cards, the silver prisms, and I got a lot of great feedback. I got a lot of great feedback on all the episodes, to be quite honest. Now that's what makes me happy, and that's why I'm doing this, if I can inform and help you guys, right? So one of the things that I got was, hey Andy, this is really great, but is there any tips or tricks that you could let us in on that you use when you go onto eBay, say, and try to select or target those raw cards that we can grade and then turn them into a more profitable situation? And the answer is sure. I love to share what I do. One of the things I strive for in why I'm doing these eBay videos is to help you guys. And I think sharing information and sharing a learning process and sharing what we do or what I do to make myself successful, if I can give that to you guys, then that makes it worthwhile. So without further ado, the Sports Card Investigator's tips for picking out cards for grading on eBay. So first and foremost, why I enjoy buying the first year rookie cards is because they're newer cards. So in practice, they should have less flaws. And by that I mean the corner should still be relatively crisp. The surface issues shouldn't be that bad. There's other things that we have no control of, but the overall condition of the card should give us a better chance because of the newness of it. And hopefully the people that are opening the packs or have those cards are taking care of them. But just by the sheer newness of the card, that should give us an advantage. One of the most important things I could tell you guys is don't rush into the first cards you see. Because you might be, okay, I'm going to go after the Carson Edwards rookie card. You put in Carson Edwards and boom, it pops up and you grab it. Of course, we're going to be looking at price point. But what I would suggest is be very deliberate in the way that you're looking at these cards. Go through all of them. I know it takes time, but go through them all because there could be literally hidden gems that are maybe 15 or 20 or on the second or third page. We just don't know. I'll tell you guys a joke, okay, that illustrates this point. There's these two bulls, and they're high up on the hill, and they're looking down on the valley. And one is a very young, inexperienced bull, and he's next to an older, experienced, and wiser bull. And they look down at the valley, and the young bull says, "Look at all those cows down there." And the old bull says, "Yep, a lot of cows down there." And the young bull says, "Hey, let's run down there and make friends with one of those cows." And the old bull looks at the young bull and says, son, how about we walk down and make friends with them all? So be deliberate and take your time, because it's going to pay off in the long run. Another one. In fact, I did this the other day. I was looking for, and I'm not suggesting this. This was just for my personal collection because I'm a 76er fan. I was looking at some of the Joel Embiid cards. So when you are putting in somebody to look for, and this is going to sound silly, but every now and again it works to your advantage. Spell his name wrong, because Joel Embiid is Joelembid, right? Spell it Embid. Spell it Joe Embiid. Spell it all different, because people spell it wrong, right? And sometimes when they spell it wrong, people don't see that listing or as fast, until they dig down, and it'll maybe pop up towards the end or whatever. But that's kind of a trick that I enjoyed over the years. That sometimes you never know. You sometimes could really find a good one. Look at the seller's feedback. Okay, I know it sounds silly, but always look at their feedback. So if you spot a card and it looks decent, check to see their feedback. See especially obviously the positive feedback. If the positive feedback says card exactly as described, or we'll buy from again, or perfect seller, whatever, those kind of words will make you feel better about doing business with this seller. And on the flip side, card not as described, card had dings, card was not mentioned in the description, that kind of thing. And along those same lines, make sure you read the description in the eBay listing, because sometimes there's a difference between brand new and like new, right? And the like new, if you look at it, there could be a little ding. Well, I told you it was like new, it wasn't brand new. Or in the description, it might say, I like when people say read description. And in the description, it might say, small blemish, top right corner, or whatever it is, right? So there's no surprises. And then for grading, obviously, you're probably going to move on if you see something like that. Another thing that it doesn't, not all the time, but these are just things that sometimes I look for. Not a lot of items for sale by the seller. Okay, so what that means is if I'm looking, let's say we're looking for a Carson Edwards Prism Silver, and it says other items for sale, and there's not a lot. There's not like 600, 300, 200. There's just a handful of items. That indicates sometimes to me that the seller is careful or selective, or maybe even a new seller and they don't know what they have. But sometimes I get more success out of people that don't have that many items for sale. There's no rhyme or reason to that. It's just something that I found over the years, okay? The other one is, see if the items for sale are from the same series. And what I mean is, if you're looking for that card, and then you look at their other items, and then you see like 5 other items, and they're all Prism 2019, 2020. Well, what does that indicate? Well, it indicates to me, more often than not, that they broke a box, right? And they just listed those items in a box. They're not like a big card store or a breaker that's getting rid of whatever. Sometimes that, to me, is a good indication that, could be a newer seller, or basically it's just someone that is getting rid of a certain type of card. And although not often, or not all, I shouldn't say that, although it doesn't indicate for a surety that you're going to get a better card, it does help sometimes. Okay. This is an important one, and I wish I could take credit for it. I read it in a Discord channel, and I've heard it, some other people say it, and I think it's right on the money. If you are looking to buy a raw card, and you look at the other items that that individual has for sale, and they are selling graded cards, well, that is the red flag, right? Because that would indicate to me that the raw cards that they're selling didn't make the cut to be graded. Now, is that 100% again? No, a lot of this stuff isn't 100%. It's just tips and tricks for you guys to think about when you're buying these cards. So if you're looking, they're selling graded cards and they have raw cards. To me, right away, that would indicate that they're cherry picking and those cards are not going to be graded because they just don't meet their standard, which I get. Doesn't mean they can't have a separate account for one selling graded, one selling ungraded, which sometimes people do. But if you see graded cards, definitely red flag. Sometimes when you look and they say they're selling 2 or 3 silver cards, together, sometimes you might get lucky. Now you may have to bite down and say, all right, I see you have 3 cards for sale, but I'm interested in this one and that one. Or if you just buy all 3, then you might get 1 or 2 out of the 3 for grading. Just gives you more of a selection. But this brings up another good point. Don't be afraid to message the seller. Actually form a relationship sometimes with that seller. Now I mean like be their buddy. But I mean if you if you message them and you say, hey, I saw your card, I like it, I'm looking it over, and we'll talk about that in a second. There seems to be a blemish on the top. Can you send me another picture? And if they say no, move on. Don't even, right? However, they might say, yeah, not a problem. I'll send you back 3 or 4 pictures. I might take it on the top loader, back and forth. Are you interested? I am. What would you take? Now you've become not just someone on the other end of a computer, typewriter, I almost aged myself, computer, but now you're a person. And I always do that. Hey, I appreciate your time. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Cy Andy, whatever. You'd be surprised how that could give dividends, especially you start talking. They may have other cards that you might be interested in, and you might be able to get good deals that way. And I've had a lot of success on getting a relationship on the messaging from a seller. Very valuable, very valuable. So now that you target the card that you like, right? What do? Well, what I do, the first thing off is I use that magnifier and I do a grid search up and down and side to side, all the way from top to the bottom. I look at all the corners. I try to see if there's any blemishes, and if I see there are, hopefully in the description, they'll notate that all scratches, whatever, are in the top loader. But if they're not, ask them. Say, hey, I see a scratch down, middle to the left of the rookie card badge. Can you they'll respond. And if they don't, move on, right? Then I look at centering, which is very important. Now on the last Prism cards, it wasn't that difficult side to side, right? Because not only did you see the bars, and you can actually see with your eyes if it's off center or not, one bar is thicker than the other, it actually had dots. And you'll know what I mean if you look at the card. So 3 dots and a little bit, 3 dots, I'm pretty good, right? 5 dots, 3 dots, obviously you could probably see that with your naked eye that it's not good. The rookie card badge, make sure that's lined up as well as it can be. The names on the top, on the bottom, make sure that they look good. The space between on top. This is something that you'll develop over time. And the corners, make sure those corners are sharp, because they'll look at those. If there's any, we'll call it fraying, or they look flatter, or there's, you'll see. They should look as well as they can, okay? There's an app, and as I'm talking, I think hopefully my director-producer at Ty Eisman might be showing you now. There's an app out there called the Dead Center app. I'm messing around with it now. They're not sponsoring me, but any kind of tool that I can use to increase my advantage on getting a card, I'll try and use. It's the same as the grid, the plastic grid that you can buy, the grading grid. When you get the card, or if you buy a pack and you break a pack open, you can put it on that plastic grid. It's the same thing that you're seeing now. Now, is it perfect? No. Does it give you an advantage or an idea? Absolutely. And that's what we want, every advantage we can, right? The cool thing about this is you can actually use it on your computer. So if you're looking at that card and you're shooting at that card with it's on your phone, it'll actually frame it up. You have to go in and try to get it the best you can. You hit next, done, and that's what you see. Because those pictures that you're looking at now, that's not from a card in my hand or on a table. That's from eBay. So it's pretty cool, right? I think that covers about everything. If I missed anything, comment. I'll be sure to answer you in the questions and comments. But in order to get, you know, the best chance to get a good card that you can grade, just remember, be deliberate, take your time, look at every angle of the card, look at the seller's information, make sure you look at their feedback. Don't be afraid to ask for pictures. Don't be afraid to form a relationship. And that will give you, and use the magnifier and go over every part of that card, front and back. Important, I missed that. Front and back, because the back counts just as much as the front when it's being graded by one of these professional grading companies. So, you know, people will sometimes just look at the front, oh, that looks good, and then you'll get a card back and it'll be a 9 or not graded, because, you know, you might put down like the lower grade you accept as a 9, it comes back ungraded. And you look at the back, and like on the back of the Prism cards, you know, you'll see it's way off. One of the things is it's a football card, but the Prism football cards on the back, you'll see like the wings, and they are way off, and you don't even notice it, right? So the back's very important. Okay, so I think I covered everything. I don't know if this video is going to be successful, because I was watching another video and it was a person who just hit 1,000 subs, and they were giving the 5 tips on how to have a successful video sports card show. Because, you know, once you hit 1,000 subs, I guess you can now have the right to tell everyone else how to do it. And I don't think I hit everything on it. Hopefully I kept your attention. Hopefully I entertained you. I don't think I changed camera angles, because I don't know how to do that every 10 seconds. I guess I could jump around. But they could sing a song, I guess, if you want, for entertainment. But, you know, anyway, look, all kidding aside, I hope what I gave you was information and it's something that you can use, okay? Next episode will be interesting. I actually looked into a content provider that was kind of, let's just say it was, something wasn't right. So I looked into it, and I'm going to tell you what I found. And from there, you guys can use your own judgment. But as I said, what I want to do is just make sure that I give you guys the best chance to succeed in this hobby. And I'll point out things that I see along the way. So with that, check out Stacking Slabs, check out Sports Card PT, check out Sports Card Analytics, and check on Instagram to see who won the Carson Edwards Silver. And with that, we'll talk soon.